Thanks, boss. You're a chief, man. 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 Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. You're a chief, man. Hot dog. Hot dog. Hot dog. Hot dog.
All right, guys, here we go with the spoiler discussion of Ghost in the Shell. It's Campo.Reviews here. I'm here with your boy, Bargo. We're going to drop you guys a little bit of knowledge. All right, so... Okay, well, first of all, we haven't talked about this. We went to the movie, watched it, drove all the way home, didn't say one word about the movie, so this is all fresh right now. What did you think about the movie?
Coming from just watching the cartoon, it was good. I didn't really know much about the movie or anything like that. Going to see it though with actual characters, not really being an anime, it was really good. Well put together.
What did you think of the anime?
The anime was really good. Like, I mean, besides like from it being an anime, it was good.
Did you notice the movie was a good movie just as a movie, or were you distracted by the fact that it was animation and it took you out of it? Like, you know when you watch the DCU animated movies, like the Batman ones?
The only time I really got distracted from that was when the scenes were kind of copycatting or like exact same storyline as the anime and the one that we just watched. So when I was watching some of the scenes, I can picture it in my head as the anime. Like the scene when they're fighting in the water and she goes invisible.
Yeah.
Like, it was good. Some parts though I found were a little cheesy, like the fighting scene at the end where she like runs up the wall or whatever. I feel like that was like way too unreal.
But
again, she's a robot, so it makes more sense.
They tried really hard to do what the anime did and portray it in a way so that fans of the anime would get it, but I feel like they cut everything short. Like the scene when she fights the guy in the water.
If they made that a longer fighting scene,
it didn't have the whole part, so it gets to the part where they're questioning the guy, and they're like, spoilers. Oh, you never had a daughter, you never had this, that. In the anime, it built up to that. Showed him talking to his friend for like 3 minutes. And then he's showing him pictures of his kid and explaining about his family. And then he finds out he never even had a family. It was impactful. If you're just watching that for the first time and you've seen that, you didn't already know that, you're going to be like, okay. Like,
no, well, she did show him pictures, but it wasn't as long or...
But she showed him the picture, but in the car in the anime with his friend, he's showing his friend, this is my daughter, she takes violin lessons.
He's already... hacked before they're in the truck, and he's going around doing
making the phone calls, and that made more of an impact for what he was doing as that character. You kind of just, oh, he got hacked all of a sudden, go for it, you know what I mean? And like originally there's a third guy, and those 2 guys in the garbage truck get stopped, and the third guy is the one that she fights, that runs, that puts on the cloak.
Yeah. And
he's like, they're like, oh, what's he made out of when he's shooting the bullets, and he's like holding it and it's like pushing him backwards.
Yeah.
The song in the beginning, I don't care if you like or don't like the song, but you need to play that song, and it does not play, and that immediately took me out of the movie.
Yeah, when it came on, you mentioned that. I hope they play the song, and they didn't until the end.
It's like a 5-minute scene of her being built, and then not to mention when she's contemplating her life in the middle of the movie. Twice they play the whole song, and you didn't even play it once until the end credits. Like, that is the movie to me. Like, when I hear that song, I know I'm watching Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. There was a lot in this movie, though. Like, I mean, I know they tried to copy the comic, but if, like, there's so, like, the possibilities for that movie could have been so big, too. Like, even a sequel. Like, I know there probably isn't one, or I don't even know how it works out, but...
I wouldn't doubt it. It kind of looked like they were leaning towards that. Like, it seems
there's
like
a lot of potential.
Yeah, the world is great. Like, the animation, like, every time they showed the city, I was like, holy shit. Like, when you see, like... those big like advertisements, like walking, though, that was crazy. It's like Blade Runner times 5. Yeah, that was amazing. And the graphics, like everything looks so good when she's the way she did everything. Was even like when they did the thing that had to her at the beginning, running around and she looks over her shoulder and like shoots. That's exactly what she does in the movie. When she does that, she's like, I thought that was crazy.
No, I know you were saying people too were like complaining about Scarlett Johansson playing that character. I think she did a good job.
Like, yeah, she was perfect. I couldn't imagine anyone else doing that. I disagree with the whitewashing of the role. I think she was perfect for it. I think the whitewashing of the rest of the movie was the problem. They're in Japan, and 99% of the people in this movie are white or from like England, and I don't understand how that happened. You could have made everybody else, or at least some of the side characters, Japanese. It really like throws you off at times. Like the technical errors in this movie are the problem. The overall movie is pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
What did you find it boring at all?
Here and there parts, yeah. Like it wasn't like not snooze fest boring, but like just kind of like okay, like let's go, like kind of thing, you know? Like I want to see the next part already.
Yeah,
the fighting scenes. I wish there was like longer or more fighting scenes in the movie.
Yeah, I feel like they cut a lot of stuff short. There was a lot of things like they wanted you to see like at the end when she's trying to rip the lid off the tank.
Yeah.
And in the comic, in the anime, sorry, she rips her like arms off and her legs off trying to pull the thing off. Right? And the movie was just like, oh, we're gonna take one hand off her and
no, it's this way she can walk out of there.
That way she could just walk out of there. He should have picked her up. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I thought he was gonna pick her up and carry her out, and he just like, hey, stand up.
But in the anime, doesn't he pick up the other guy's head or something?
He doesn't even pick her up. They're both, they link them together on the floor. Yeah, and I wanted to see that, and it's like there's lots of little things they missed while at the same time trying to show you something. Like, oh, we're gonna show you this, but while you're watching that, you realize, oh, this is missing from that.
And I didn't notice the driver guy too. The guy with what's it? I forget who it was. He's in the anime. He drives her to something, and it's not the guy with the eyes.
Togasa.
Yeah,
he was in it. Yeah, he was. He was the Japanese guy in the crew that always had that metal thing around his neck.
So that scene never happened, pretty much.
Yeah, they cut that out, and I don't know, man. There's the scene when they're rolling up in the tank to that spot where he fights her in the water. When they're rolling up in the tank and she's loading the gun and she's doing all the thing. Remember, that's even something you said was sick.
Yeah,
like,
was cool.
And she has like she has a nice little like speech thing that she says in there, and that was like, I don't know, I really like that part, and I think that was
left out.
Those are the small things I wanted. Like, I'm not upset that the movie didn't do it, but you shouldn't have took away. I'm okay with the things they added, but they shouldn't have took away the things that made the anime what it was. Like, I understand they're trying to make it their own like story, but I don't know. What was another part?
When I was watching, I was just looking out for like every scene pretty much to see how they redid it, and they skipped a lot of stuff, like a lot of little stuff.
They did, and they added a lot. The thing I liked about what they added to the movie that I don't know, if you've never seen the anime, I think that's why a lot of people are giving it a bad rating. Like how I was telling you that people thought it was really slow. But if you watch the actual movie, it's not a fast-paced movie. When there's action, it's awesome. But most of the movies, like, talking about, like, am I really human? What am I? You know, like, that's mostly what it's about. And this movie nailed her diving in deeper to find out about herself. Because in the anime, she hints at you that she doesn't know what she is, but she never dives to find out more. And in this movie, she went deeper. You know what I mean?
They probably could be doing that too, because it's kind of like an origin for people who don't even know what Ghost in the Shell is. That's
how I saw this movie, as an origin story leading up. Rather than in Ghost in the Shell, you're kind of in the middle of her career. Like, I know that they took the storyline, but they did it in a way that it's like the beginning.
They can teach you, kind of. Like, they can explain to you what's actually going on.
It brings you into the universe, where in the original Ghost in the Shell just throws you out there. You don't know anything about them. You learn about them through the movie, where this movie teaches you about them and then puts you into the movie.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, it's not bad. Togasa, Bato, with the eyes, and I thought that was cool.
That was cool. I wish they did more of like his vision. They could have went a little longer with his character too, like more about, not really about him, but I guess maybe a sequel can have to do with that. But
in Ghost in the Shell 2 is about him.
Oh, okay.
It's about him and the Japanese guy Togasa.
Is she in it too?
She comes.
Major? Yeah.
She's like kind of a part of it, but he doesn't understand why she's part of it, because it's like takes place after, right? And it's about him being hacked. He gets hacked,
but not obviously.
But a different person, same idea basically. But I don't know. I thought she was awesome, and her movements. I don't know if you noticed it. She never like blinks or like makes a facial expression And when the way she walks and runs, her arms are completely straight. Did you notice that? Yeah. And when she turns like she played the part of a robot like perfectly.
No, it was well done.
Even the tone of her voice, she never gets like loud.
She doesn't get happy. She doesn't get angry. Her emotions are all one way. Like, she looks the way she is from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, and I heard a lot of people complaining about that this morning when I was watching YouTube reviews. That she looks she has no emotion and you can't feel for the character because she has no emotion. But it's a robot. I don't understand. Like, she's supposed to look like a robot, and
like
she
does. Schwarzenegger and Terminator
exactly. He taught him how to say "Hasta la vista."
Maybe.
Mali Pali Alloy.
But yeah, I don't know. It was good.
I'm trying to think what else. There was a couple more things.
And for that to be was that the first showing of that movie?
Yeah, it was the advanced screening.
It was dead.
Yeah. I have a feeling this movie's not going to do great at the box office.
I think not enough people know what it's actually about, though.
I honestly think there's going to be higher sales in Japan if they release it there than there will be here.
Definitely.
Surprisingly. And nobody seems to care that they got the Scarlett Johansson to play it over there. I saw a lot of interviews with people on the street, and they didn't really care. It didn't make a difference. That's what I was talking about
before when you told me that. But yeah, no. I mean, like, other movies with robots, iRobot, Terminator, like, there's I don't know.
Yeah, but
Matrix.
this movie paved the way for the Matrix and Hackers and iRobot. Like, those movies are based on that movie. They took so much influence from that about almost every aspect, and they did it to do it the way they did. I liked it. I mean, I would have liked to see Scarlett Johansson naked, but you can't get everything you want.
More or less, anyways. But yeah, no, it's interesting though, like how you say that it paves the way for those movies, because I'm kind of like more interested in this, and I want to see more. I guess because I've already seen everything for those movies, but
this movie should be rated R. It should be rated R. I don't understand why they lowered it to PG-13. There's no reason for it. The target audience of this movie is all people now in like their 30s and late 20s who grew up with this movie. You're gonna not get much children out to watch this. The property is not a hot property. It's more of like a story for fans. Like, you redid this for the fans of the movie and the fans of anime. Like, you're not gonna get the Captain America fans to see this. So I think lowering it down the rating just to attract a higher audience is it's invalid. It doesn't help. If you had to rate this movie right now out of 100, what would you give it?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards like the 7.
So 70 out of 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 70 out of 100 as well. I'd say check this movie out. It's definitely worth a watch. If you're a fan of the property, you will definitely get more out of it than someone going in fresh.
I recommend, if you can, to watch the anime before you go to see it.
You know what? If you have seen the anime,
you can watch it after.
If you have seen the anime, watch the anime first to refresh yourself, and then go into this. If you've never seen the anime, watch this first and then watch the anime, because the anime is far superior. And if you watch that first going into this, you might not appreciate this movie for what it is.
Hey, what's up guys? We here at Roblox Games put a lot of time and effort into our content, and it would be very much appreciated if you could drop a like on this video, and if you enjoy this video, please subscribe to our channel for more content.